What's up, collectors? P-Rock's back again for another review, and today we're going to take a look at an older piece. This is the TBLeague / Fison Valiant Comics Bloodshot 1/6 scale figure, and this was one of the first TBLeague figures, or TBLeague Fison figures that I purchased back in the days, because you guys know I'm more of the comic book fan. So Bloodshot was one comic I did collect, and this is basically the only representation you can get from him in the 1/6 scale. There are 1/12 scale versions of him. So when this was announced, I had to jump on this real quick. And quick disclaimer, this is my first TBLeague figure to actually rip on me a little bit. So I will show you that during the review. So before we get the review started, please hit the like, subscribe button, click that bell notification. And now, let's get this review started. Dale. What's up, fellow collectors? Die action. Dale. All right, so the box is a bit bigger and heavier, so I just want to get somewhat in frame right there. You got a nice picture of the figure Bloodshot, and you got a nice comic book drawing right here of the figure right there. And then on the side, if you want to pause and read that, you got a Valiant comic right here. Welcome to Valiant Universe. You get the Bloodshot logo right here in the back. On the side, right here in the back, you got another picture of the figure. And once again, I can't get this in this angle, but if you want to go ahead and pause that, read that, it's up to you guys right there. Heavy box, man. It's a heavy box. Another picture of the figure right there. Same thing right here. Another picture of the figure right here. This is basically the pose I had him in somewhat, and that's when something started ripping. But, and then right in the bottom, nothing. And then right in the top, nothing. All right, so this thing is heavier. So let's go ahead and get him out the slipcover and see what's inside. So once you remove him, you greet it with the styrofoam right here in the front, and then you remove the styrofoam. You can see the figure there. Now, I displayed them, or I kept them stored without the shirt on, because obviously, you guys know these silicone bodies, sometimes like the black of the dye of the shirt could transfer to the figure. But there you go, you got the shirt. The shirt came with him on him, but like I said, I repackaged him without the shirt. But you got the first layer right here with the figure. See the little baby powder cornstarch all over him. And if I remember correctly, there is a bottom layer. You remove this. This thing is heavy. And then you do have a bottom layer right there that has more of the accessories. This was on him originally on the body, and the t-shirt was over this, so that's why they didn't have the transfer. But to me, you can't see the muscle definition with this on, so I took it off. Just made it look better. But anyways, there's everything you get in there real quick. And then I think that's the last layer. Yeah, maybe one more layer under there. Yep, there's one more layer, which is the remainder of the diorama base, which I love with TBLeague. Is for the price that you pay for these figures, you get a lot of things. You get a lot of accessories, you get a cool looking figure, and you normally get a cool diorama piece with that, which I love. Not just a typical, stand and base or whatnot. All right, so let's go ahead and get Bloodshot and all the accessories out. And so it's basically get them out so you can see how everything looks in 4K in close detail. All right, we'll take them out. We'll be right back. All right, so now we got Bloodshot laid out with all the accessories that come in the package. And just remember, I already opened this figure previously. So originally he had this shirt on right here underneath this, and then the black shirt over that to kind of prevent the transfer dye. Took those off, and then not only that, he had like this holster and everything for the sheath for the sword, which is kind of cheap. You can see it is leather, but or pleather 1 to 2, but it's not like a solid piece. It works perfect for what it is, but just looks kind of cheap from behind. But so this I forget you call it, like the holster, the strap, or whatever you want to call it, was off of him. He did come with the 3 guns. There's one right here, one right there, and then this one right here. They all came off of him separate. Each one of these guns I'll show later. I'm not gonna take them all out because they were kind of pain in the butt to clip in, as you can see. So but the clips do come out, and I just want to show it. But since he has like this, you can see he has like the baby powder cornstarch all over him. I want to make sure I get my gloves on before I handle the figure, shoulder articulation. So I'm gonna do things backwards today. Instead of doing the figure first, we're gonna do accessories first. That way I can get the gloves, because I don't need the gloves for the accessories. So anyway, like I said before, he does come in this little white protecting shirt that you put on. You will see like the head. You will take the head sculpt off, the headpiece off right there. The metal steel peg will be right there. You slide that through there, put it on there. But like I said, you don't get to see the muscle definition. I thought about maybe cutting the sleeves off, and then that way you just have the black t-shirt, so you can still be protected under there. Like I thought about going that far, or maybe possibly if I ever display him. My thing is, in the comics, he does have the shirt, but normally when he's like badass mode, he has his shirt off. So I wanted to display him with the shirt off because that's the version of Bloodshot I know from the comics. So that's why I wanted to have him that way. But if I were to have the shirt on, I think I would go that route where I'll basically try to measure it perfectly and cut these sleeves off right at the perfect length, so it's underneath the black shirt. So that way you don't have to worry about the dye transferring in there. Just a tip that I would suggest. So, anyways, he does come with the sword. The sword does feel a little cheap compared to what TBD normally does give you with the metal pieces and stuff like that, die cast, whatnot. But it is definitely beautifully sculpted. You can see all the detail right here on the handle. I just finished playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm pretty into the samurai sword stuff, so it's pretty cool. But anyways, the handle's good, nice sculpting on there. It actually feels like, like the handles, like the ripple. You get the blade. The blade does have a metallic paint to it, and of course you have the blood at the tip of it, and the blood looks good. It's paint on there, looks nice and wet and everything. Different, it's not even on both sides. Looks different. So you got the sword, and like I said, the sword does go in the back of his sheath like this, just like that. So once it's in there, it does look good. It just, once you don't have it in there, it just looks like flappy and stuff. Like, look at this. So that looks a little cheap, but it's not cheap. All right, so you got the sword. Then he does come with his rifle, assault rifle, and everything. So you do have the little shotgun grenade launcher thing here, and the barrel does cock. You could cock the barrel. You see the bullet in there. I'm not sure if the bullet does come out, but I'm sorry, the shell. You can see the shell in there. As you can see there, this is pretty cool. This extends also if you want to do that. So this is definitely a cool piece right here. It's not metal. It's not die cast. It's not painted the best, but it definitely looks good, and it has a lot of features on there. You have the scope on there and everything. You can remove the scope if I remember correctly. Definitely a good piece. And if you know Bloodshot, he does have these. Bloodshot's kind of like basically, I guess, Valiant's version of Deadpool, but not funny. He's like serious. So you get the cannon right here. You can see little holes there. Definitely cool piece. Nice sculpting on there. Then you do get two separate hands. You get the closed, like the semi-closed fist. This is more if you want to have him using like the sword, and or you could put the gun in the hand with his finger not on the trigger. So I think if I remember correctly, he came with these attached on him. And if you deal with if you have any TBLeague figures, they're kind of a pain in the butt to swap out the wrist pegs. So I'm gonna try to avoid that as much as possible. But you can see nice detail. You see the fingernails there. You can see like the wrinkles on the knuckles. You can see the knuckles through the gloves. The glove looks nice. The strap looks like it's a real strap. So definitely nice detail on the glove. So yeah, so normally he comes with that. I think this one's more of like the trigger finger, you can see. So you actually would have this if you want to have Bloodshot with the trigger on the finger. I mean, the finger on the trigger. Damn, it's backwards again. All right, so he does come with this fire hydrant, which I'm not 100% sure why they gave us a fire hydrant, but it's a cool piece. Has a nice non-scratch surface in the bottom. It won't slip or nothing, but the fire hydrant is basically made for the base. And this is pretty good. Nice sculpted, nice rusty paint on there. Definitely weathered. You can see there. So definitely cool. But like I said, you do get a heavy, not too heavy, but this is good weight. Same thing too in the bottom. It has like that little TBLeague right there. It has a little scratch resist, non-slip surface. But you can see, look at the detail on this. You can see, like, look at this. Look at the side. You can see like the rocks inside the concrete. Definitely a cool piece. Has good weight to it. And it actually feels like stone. Like when you feel it, the texture of it is like stone. So this is definitely a cool piece. Like I said, this is what I love about TBD. They normally give you these cool bases. And normally, if it was like a Hot Toy figure and they gave you this base, it would jack the price up probably for like another $100. But TBD doesn't really do that. That's what I like about TBD. But definitely, yes. Yeah, so you can put the fire hydrant no matter where, anywhere on you want on the base. You can kind of put it here. It will make no sense because the floor wouldn't match up. But normally, I think I have like right here on the side or something. But yeah, so you have that, and there you go. All right, so real quick, without the gloves, I will show you Bloodshot. But when I go to the articulation, I would put the gloves on. So you can see the head sculpt right here. As you can see, the head sculpt does look just like him in the comics. I don't remember that part being that serious, so I don't know. Maybe it could be, but you can see I still have some cornstarch rubbing on him. You can see the detail across here. Now, one thing it doesn't show on camera as much, but yes, one complaint when this came out was some people were saying the head, like the body was not as white or blue. It was more white and yellowish than that blue hint on the face, which is kind of true. When you're looking at it, when you first look at it, you will see in hand that the hands are more like a yellowish, and especially around the abs too, instead of like that bluish hint. So it is more of like a white and yellow on the body, and then more of a white and blue on the face and then the fingers. But you go, so you see the face, you can see the red eyes, bloodshot eyes, the little bloodshot. I forgot what it's called. The little symbol that he always has there on his chest and on the shirt also too, as you can see. Nice symbol on there, and that's actually on the silicone. So when you touch it, it feels like the silicone body. So something different that TBLeague did. You can see nice detail on the abs, the muscle definition, the guns in there. Oh, let me show you. See if I can pull the clip out in this gun. So yep. So there we go. Let's see. All right, there we go. Boom. Look. So the clips do come out from the handguns, the pistols. You can see the bullets in there. So that's really cool. You can pull that out. And if I remember correctly, I think the handguns do clock too. Like you can cock them too. You see nice detail on the belt. The belt was a pain in the butt to get on there also. Now this is one thing we did talk about in streams before with the TBLeague figures. People don't like in our figures coming out recently. Some people complain that you actually have to dress or put work onto the figure to get them, set up and everything. They don't come out the box with everything on there. These TBLeague are the same thing where you actually have to put all these things on the belt on, which could be very time consuming, but I've always said I enjoy it because it gives me more of an attachment to the figure, more time spent on the figure instead of just basically opening the figure, putting the accessories on, and then boom, in display. With this one, you have to move the joints around. You're kind of forced to move the joints around, and it shows you what joints, how far you can move certain joints and stuff like that. So I like the fact that you got to basically put some work into the figure and spend more time with the figure than your typical out the box put in display. So I enjoy that. That's why I like TBLeague too. So I don't mind in art. So when I get my Harry Potter figures, I'm gonna have fun with that. But anyways, so yeah, if I remember correctly too, this you have to actually put on them also. If I don't remember for sure, but just see right here, you can see the hands here and too. Like I said, the pistol hands. Nice detail on the gloves. The gloves actually look like they're real gloves, textured. You can see the silicone kind of rubbing. So you can see kind of some rub there a little bit. You can see the veins going through the arms. Look at those muscle definition. TBLeague knocks out the park when it comes to the body definition for the males and females. I think they're probably like the best in the industry. See the abs right there. So yeah, let me see if I can find the spot. So this basically goes under here, and I think it's this one right here. So this is the one that I had. Oh, maybe, yep. Well, is it there? Maybe it fixed itself. But I do have, like, if you can see some ripping right there in the armpit, like a little bit ripping. I had them posed up, so the silicone started to rip a little bit. I didn't pose it too much. But yeah, look at this. Look at the muscle definition. You can see his wings right here. Look at the wings. Look at that back definition. Look at that. This dude's diesel, yo. All right, so definition on the back, the muscles. You can see the pockets on the pants, the pouches. The pouches are the pleather leather type material too, so definitely cool. They do open up also. Not all of them, if I remember correctly, but they do have the little thing right here. You can see right there, the little slit for them. So the pouches do open up also. So that's another cool feature with this. So like I said, you do put in work on this. The straps, those clips actually work. That's how you put it on there, so you can unclip that. So if you want to take it off, you just basically unclip this and it comes right out. Definitely cool. The pockets, if I remember correctly, he actually has working pockets here on the cargo pants. So these are actually working pockets. You can open this and actually put things in the pockets. Definitely awesome too. Then we'll go down to the legs, and then we can see the boots. The boots have nice wear. You can see, like, you can definitely tell he's wearing steel toe boots. The boots have nice definition on there, nice detail on there, nice weathering on there, nice treads on there also. So this is a cool figure, man. I guess with the gloves on, with the gloves off, I can show you at least articulation with the pants. So I don't have to worry about touching like the upper body. But all right, so the legs, because of the pants, he is limited. If you have a TBLeague figure, the body can do all kinds of stuff. But because of the pants, you can see here, he is limited of how far he can get the legs forward and backwards. But you can basically do that. Like, you can see I still got some of the plastic in there to kind of keep that transfer from going through. You can see a little bit like that little yellow stain right there. So a little bit did go through a little bit. All right, so then the knees, definitely could do a full bend in the knees, but you could tell too it with the pants. Also, it is kind of restricting it back, but you could get nice bend in the knees. The feet, he obviously has boots on. You can't go down much and you can't go up too much, but he does have twist and he does have pivot, even that with the boots on. Let's see what else. Can't really do the split. He could, like I said, he could do it. It's just the pants. You can see right there, a lot of stress right there in the pants. Let me see anything else I can do with the pants. Go that way, go this way. He can go this way. You get bend at the knees, and then you get twist at the thigh. You feel the silicone, which feels weird, but you could get twist. And that's pretty much it with the articulation on the lower body. Because like I said, it is restricted because of the pants. The pants are pretty tight. But yeah, the upper body is not restricted at all. So you guys will see that once I go ahead and get these gloves on, and I will show you guys the articulation in the upper body. Let me put them down real quick and get my gloves ready. I'll be right back. All right, so as I'm getting my gloves on, I'm going to go ahead and pick up Bloodshot and look at the articulation from the waist up. All right, so the head can definitely do a full 360. So this one, I don't mind doing 360 because I don't think this was going to break. And then he can look pretty far up. Now, you got to be careful when you move these heads with these TBLeague bodies. You see the silicone right there. You got to kind of push the head back a little bit and then look up. But if you do it right, let's see. He could look decent amount up and then decent amount down, but kind of goes up a little bit by himself. So kind of readjusts by himself. Definitely goes sideways. And then, now this is where the amazing articulation comes in hand. So the elbows, of course, you do get a full 90-degree bend. And you see that the elbow with these silicone bodies, you can see, look at that crease real quick. You can see a crease, you'll see the crease on the edge there, but you'll see like it actually looks like skin. That's the cool thing about it right here. So, but then the crease, you can see there is a crease there, but over time, that crease will basically flatten itself out. So you do get that at the elbows. You do get bend, and then you get twist also, as you can see. That looked kind of funny. Sorry, my bad. But anyway, yeah, you do get you get twist. It's a little too white. Let me turn some of this white down a little bit. Sorry about that. It's a little too bright in here because of the skin color and everything. Let's put these gloves back on real quick. This is why I hate wearing gloves for reviews. And this is why I doubt that Voltron review is ever going to come out, because the gloves are painted. These are not even my gloves. I'm not sure whose gloves these are, but I just grabbed them. All right, so you do get bend the elbows. All right, so then his arm can go fully up, as you can see. Now, of course, I will be dusting off all this cornstarch baby powder off at the end before I finally pose them. I just want to have them basically starched up when I cut them in the box and stuff. So basically, the arm can go fully up, as you can see. You can get the arm go up. No ripping it, so it can go up like that. Oops, sorry. He can go, let me just use the other hand. He can go all the way back. And what's cool about the TBLeague figures is the fact that the muscle definition on them, like the muscle moves with them, so it looks super realistic. All right, so that's right there. Now I do want to see this. I do remember having this guy. Oh, there's something. Oh, look at that. Something. There's nothing you gotta be careful with. You have these black stains. So as you can see, something black came off him and stained him real quick. So I gotta clean that off. Some black stuff on there. So I gotta clean that. I'll clean it off later on. I don't got time for that. One trick for that too is if you get stains like this before. One thing I tried before my lady death, she's like kind of white skin too. It's weird, but if you use some OxyClean, you rub the OxyClean on, you rub it on there, let it sit for like, a couple hours or maybe a full day, and then you just kind of rub it off. And supposedly someone with the OxyClean or the pimple ointment kind of just lifts the freaking stain up somehow. All right, so let me just show you real quick. I just want to see if this is the one. Yeah, so as you can see, this is the armpit of mine that has a little rip there. I had him posed basically like this. I had him holding my gun like this posed. So maybe that's what caused the rip over time. I did him pose like that for like over 6 months, maybe 8 months, even close to a year probably. So you do have that issue right there that you have to be careful with. All right. So now his back bend is going to be awesome. So he can look back very good, as you can see. And he can go forward and do the ab crunch very good too, as you can see. So it does not miss his ab days. And then you do get twist at the waist. Now you are restricted a little bit with the silicone. You do feel like low restriction, but it's not going to rip. You could turn and then turn that way too, as you can see. But as you can see, the muscles moving along with it. So it definitely is a realistic looking figure with the silicone body and stuff like that. It's got to be careful all these stains on there. It's got to make sure. Oh, so that's actually something on there. Did something peel off of him? I'm not sure. So you see it's leveled there. So I'm not sure that's like a rip or interesting. Interesting. Oh, no, it came right off. All right, boom. See? Came right off. All right, so there you go. All right, so there's the articulation at the upper body. And like I said, this dude has plenty of articulation. And basically any pose you want to get him into, he can get into. And he will look super realistic with all the details on the muscle definition and the way the body moves and stretches along with that. The silicone, it's awesome. Had this guy, damn, I think he came out. I got when he came out. So basically, since upon release, like I forgot what year it was. I'll double check. I'll put it here in the review as I'm doing it. But yeah, so you got the guns here going all the way across. You can see the guns right here. This arm pit right here. You can slide this up more. The guns, each one of these guns has the clips that come out. But there you go. Definitely cool articulation with this guy. Try and get some final poses now. But before we do the final poses, let's go ahead and get the size comparison started. And there we have Bloodshot in a default pose along with two other 1/6 scale figures. The one on the left is the Hot Toys Spider-Man video game Miles Morales, and the one on the right is the 3-0 Game of Thrones Jaime Lannister. All right, so just for giggles, I want to go ahead and throw in a Godzilla figure, of course, as always. So the next figure we're gonna have here is gonna be the SH Monster Arts Mecha Godzilla. And there is Mechagodzilla. Now, normally I put them in individually, but I was having issues getting all three of the big guys standing in the back, so I had to get them pre-posed and standing there before I went ahead and added them, because doing it individually, man, it took me about 5 tries, and it was taking too much time. So here you go, good size comparison, just in case you currently have any of these figures in your current collection, and you're curious how this Bloodshot will fit in your display of your collection. All right, let's get the final thoughts and final poses. So for this final pose, my aim was to have that one right hand arm over his shoulder and have the shirt hanging over his shoulder. The posability I was able to get accomplished, but the shirt's too stiff, so it didn't drape over completely. It just didn't look natural. So basically, I just have him holding it this way here, but kind of show you real quick, he can balance himself somewhat pretty good. Even with all the weight in the upper body, you put the fire hydrant there, he's kind of leaning on the fire hydrant. Basically, the battle's over. You can still see I need to cut some of that plastic out. You can still see it being revealed there. But you can see all that back muscle definition and everything on this figure. The silicone can basically get almost any pose. The legs are restricted, like I said, because of the jeans. I couldn't get the leg up higher. Originally I wanted to have his foot on top of the fire hydrant and have him hunched over more. The hunching part with the ab crunch was no problem at all. It's just that leg. So I had to adjust and everything here, but you can basically get this guy in the upper body and then limited in the lower body, but any pose you want to get him, and just it looks so realistic with that definition and the muscle. The neck portion right there, you see the head. Yes, that does look kind of funny. Maybe they should have probably had the neck going down a little bit longer or something. You can see the seam line a little too much right there from the back, but you're not really gonna look at the figure from the back. Most of the time you'll see the figure from the front right here. And this guy looks cool with the sword there. Battle's over. He's just chilling, cooling off right now. The face does kind of, like I said, the blue is a little more profound on the face than is in the body. The body has more of the blue hints on there. It's more of a white. It's kind of reversed between the body and the face and the head sculpt. But that, man, I kind of messing around this figure, man. So let's see what we can do the next final pose. Okay, so real quick, I want to show this before I go to the next part. So the gun, you can actually take the clip out like I showed earlier. Let's get that clip out. There we go. You take the clip out and you can see the bullet right there. All right, so the other cool thing about it, I forgot about, is you can actually, for the John Wick fans out there, or the 6 scale gun, I always mess up this word, like people who love guns. So you could actually clock it back and you can actually take it apart. You can see the clip in there, and there's also pieces in there that you can actually you can take the whole gun apart, basically reenact him cleaning the gun or putting the gun together. So I can see, this would be a cool thing if I had a John Wick figure to kind of have him battling John Wick, or even have him sitting on that curb over there with John Wick cleaning guns out. That'd be pretty cool too. So yeah, just want to show you guys that real quick before we continue with the review. All right, so let's get to the next final pose. All right, so on this final pose, I want to see if I can get him balanced in a battle scene, and so far so good. It took a little while because the guy is wobbling here, more like because my cheap SWAT guy was more wobbling. But here we go. Here you got Bloodshot stabbing the SWAT guy through the chest as he grabs his gun and points it away from him to make sure he doesn't get blasted in the face. Even though if he did, he could still regenerate and heal himself and still take this dude out. But this is definitely cool to have different weapons to use for this figure. And I'm gonna give you guys a little thing right there. You may not have seen it, but I'm using the hands that he uses for the gun, because I mentioned before in my She review, one of the negatives about the TBLeague figures is swapping out the hands because of this metal skeleton underneath there. It moves around a lot. It's very durable, but it just moves around and is pain. It's a pain to swap out. So I don't want to go through that whole route swapping it out because I know for a fact my final pose I'm going to do next, I'm going to have him with both guns in hands. But I just want to show you that he can hold the sword with the trigger hand and you can still get it posed up where he's basically battling someone mid-scene and getting the job done. And there we have Bloodshot fully decked out with the sword in the sheath, the cannon in his, or the rifle, whatever you want to call it, in his left hand, the pistol in the right, his 2 other pistols under his armpits, his pouch is full of surprises, steel-toed boots scuffed up and everything. Bloodshot is ready for his next mission to take out his next person. And man, this guy is, now that I'm messing with him some more, yes, the legs are limited for articulation. He's a fun figure to play with, man. Now, mess around, you don't see it on camera, but you definitely have to wear gloves for this guy because he picks up like dust and lint very easily. So basically, even by posing him with the gloves on, by me touching the pants and then touching the body afterwards, you can see like where his abs are at. He has like a lot of black, like lint dust type thing on his chest, on his abs and his chest. It comes off easily. You can brush it off with the glove or get like a little makeup brush like you use for your statues. Just brush it off, comes off easily. You want to take the lint off before you apply the cornstarch or the baby powder you put on these TBLeague figures. They do recommend even in instructions. I'm not sure. I haven't bought a TBLeague like a newer ones recently, but the older ones always had like some kind of instructions that tells you on there to apply baby powder or cornstarch on there to keep the silicone body from basically getting sticky from the humidity. If you live in a humid area, kind of keeps the body dry, and so that way it won't crack either. So definitely some maintenance things you have to do with these TBLeague figures, man. But man, these guys, they know what they're doing when it comes to the bodies and articulation and then the realistic look of the bodies, the muscle definition, the veins, the nipples, all kinds of stuff, man. They're on point when it comes to it. And the price range is good for them too. The only thing I would say TBLeague would have to do to kind of improve and compete with the other big leagues like Top Toys is pick up a license. Like get a license that a lot of people want. They usually get like some of these comic book characters like this, but they're usually like lower named or lower known characters. They get a lot of those and make up their own characters and stuff like that. But they need to get a license, like an actual cool license. I could see them making some cool comic book characters and just UFC fighters. If they pick the license for UFC, I would love to see TBLeague do UFC with the seamless bodies, and you can basically pose them like in like jiu-jitsu moves and like the flying knee and stuff like that. Definitely would love to see that. But yes, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit the like, subscribe button, click that bell notification, and as always, collectors, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale. Check out Bloodshot, man. It's not a bad comic, at least the first couple ones. There is a newer one that came out. I heard a good story about it. So check it out. If you never heard the character, you're intrigued. See you guys on the next one.